What is up, my people? I wanted to talk about the E-Ray version for Godzilla 2019 and 2021. Now, there is noticeable differences if you compare the prototype version, the promo images that we got, to the final release that we have seen recently at San Diego Comic-Con 2023. Now, I've been thinking, looking at the photos, and I'm like, there are some interesting changes I never noticed with the promo images. We remember Mechagodzilla and Godzilla had an epic clash, right? Godzilla lost the epic clash. We ended up getting Godzilla thrown around with the building. He ended up with a very big proton or photon scar around his neck area, right? Now, look at this right now. Very interesting that the 2021 version Heat Ray Godzilla has a orange mark around his neck, don't you think? Very interesting. Now, I personally think this is done intentional. A lot of people thought it was probably a prototype mistake, that it wasn't fully painted, that it was, in air or something like that. But I believe this is proof that Mechagodzilla is coming. This is proof that Hiya Toys is paying attention to the small details, and they decided to paint it in the damage from Mechagodzilla blasting Godzilla directly on his neck. You can clearly see it's a little bit of yellow and orange, which definitely aligns with the blind mark that he has in the movie version. It's on the same right side of his neck. So yeah, it makes sense that, yeah, indeed, this is the mark damage that Mechagodzilla caused on Godzilla. And it's pretty epic. That also means that they didn't want to spoil people back when they revealed the prototype image for the Hebrew version of Godzilla 2021. They wanted to keep this a secret, and it makes sense, In that time, they didn't want to, give away that Mechagodzilla 2021 was coming. They wanted to keep it a secret until now they fully revealed. And if people catch on, they're gonna know Mechagodzilla is coming. And I guess not everybody pays attention to those details, But knowing Hiya Toys, they really like to go for full-on accuracy with colors, designs, and etc. The main idea is that it's hinting that Mechagodzilla will be offering accessories like his, I don't remember if it's called photon or proton beam. So yeah, it makes sense, They're going to recreate the clash scene from the movie. They wanted to make sure that their version of Godzilla has that mark to recreate those epic battles. And I'm willing to bet that their Mechagodzilla is going to be taller. It's going to have accessories with this, because a lot of people would have probably guessed it or just thought, it's in air. Like I mentioned, it's in air. They probably looked past it, didn't pay much attention. But now I was just thinking tonight, that's very interesting. Looking back at the movie, that's exactly where the mark of the proton beam left. Godzilla against that building, and then you see the damage done there, so it makes sense. That's what this spot is. And yes, there is two versions of the hit rate version. It's kind of confusing. It was confusing me as well. So let me explain. There's a hit rate version for Godzilla King of the Monsters. There's one for Godzilla versus Kong. The differences is the Godzilla versus Kong version has a translucent effect, while the Godzilla King of the Monsters has a solid painted effect. Also, he has much less blue. There's no blue around his chest, around his body. The dorsal plates are painted a little bit different. They're more brighter with that mixture of light, where the Godzilla vs. Kong has more blue throughout his chest, his body. The dorsal plates are also painted a little bit different. And that's about it. The mark around his neck indicates that's the Godzilla vs. Kong version. Honestly, they had a fantastic panel. I honestly think they really surprised a lot of people at San Diego Comic-Con 2023. The biggest surprise, obviously, the female Muto. That one went beyond my expectations. First of all, it's one of my favorite monsters, the original monster from the MonsterVerse, right? Second of all, they got the paint job down beautifully. It has that texture that a lot of the custom private MUTO'S don't even have that texture, you know. I'm talking about the wooden texture that she has throughout the film. If you look at the way she is, or even for the CGI, you can tell that she has like a wooden type of texture throughout her body. The way the eyes are done, the paint job. A lot of people were always mistaking the female MUTO'S to be fully black. That's not the case. She's always been a mixture between gray and black, and a little bit like a dirty type of wash, you know. But she always had those interesting colors. I'm very happy they finally did justice to the female MUTO. That could only mean one thing. The 2014 era is definitely coming. Most definitely we're getting the Godzilla 2014, the male MUTO'S, and others. I know a lot of people right now are requesting the 2014 Shin Godzilla, some classic Godzillas, and they already announced that indeed they are doing more classic Godzillas. They acquired the license, I'm sure of it, and we talked about that in one of my previous videos. So far, I mean, they've done a phenomenal job. They have the Skull Island Kong. I think that one still needs a little bit of rework because it just seems too similar to the 2021 version, you know, and both of them had a different head sculpture. The Skull Island one looks younger, his fur looks different, the color. So I think they need a little bit of a touch up and they'll be perfect. The Skull Crawler looks really awesome as well. King Ghidorah looks freaking phenomenal. I gotta love all those details. The size is perfect. Props to Hiya Toys for delivering such commitment when it comes to fans. And that's the difference. I want to touch a topic that's been happening in the comments down below. So lately I've been noticing a few people fighting between MonsterArts and Hiya Toys, right? Look, at the end of the day, you are free to have your own opinion. You are free to like whichever monster you like, whichever company. Both companies can coexist with each other, and it's your money. If it's your money, you shouldn't let anybody tell you which figure to buy, you know. They shouldn't tell you, hey, you shouldn't buy this figure because it has this and that. You shouldn't buy this. You should buy this figure. No, you are free to buy whichever figure you want from whichever company. That's the privilege of freedom, you know, free speech as well. So there's like a difference, you know. The other difference would be if you're asking for an opinion, you're confused between which one to get, and you want to ask someone who has knowledge, experience with figures. Yes, of course, that's valuable. You can ask them, you know, which figure should I purchase, MonsterArts or Hiya Toys? They can tell you the cons and the pros, and then you'll get your ideas. You'll get a better understanding as to which figure you're looking for with your personal money, you know. And I will say something personal. It's my personal opinion, my point of view, so don't get hurt in the comments down below. For me, I will always say that MonsterArts will always have the unbeatable articulation. Hiya Toys will never get as close as to their smooth articulation, and that's why they're more expensive. I know people are frustrated, there's no accessories, but hear me out. The reason why there's no accessories is because they give you the smooth articulation, the incredible details that other companies simply cannot give you. Possibly Hot Toys, but you know that Hot Toys is a high-end company, right? That's a different whole story right there. The main point that we're comparing Hiya Toys with MonsterArts. You simply cannot compare 27 points of articulation to 70 to 100. You're never gonna have this smooth articulation with the tails, with the body on a Hiya toy compared to MonsterArts, or even the poses. Sure, some poses can get extremely close, but you're just never gonna get that smooth butter, you know, comparison between both of them. Both of them can coexist, I agree. And there's always going to be comparisons. That's how it is. It's nature. People are always going to judge you no matter what. So that's why, at the end of the day, do whatever you feel is better for yourself. Purchase whichever figure you like. People will judge you even if you do good or bad, from my personal experience, you know. Now, on the other end, Hiya Toys has been proving to go far and beyond with fans. They actually listen to their feedback, to influencers, YouTubers, their community. They seem to know what they're doing right now with their game. Right now they're pushing this agenda really hard, delivering very requested figures to fans compared to MonsterArts. MonsterArts is it's just like a mystery box. You never know if your figure is going to be falling apart with goofy eyes. It's totally hard, you know. And with MonsterArts, it just seems like they prefer to do so many repaints instead of delivering figures that fans actually want. Okay, compared to Hiya Toys, they are giving fans a lot of things MonsterArts simply just hasn't done. An accurate King Ghidorah, MUTO'S, Skullcrawler, so many things with the figure line, right? So it just feels like in so little time, Hiya Toys has accomplished big things that MonsterArts has been pushing around for so much time, and they rather milk some figures like Godzilla 2019, Godzilla 2021, and other figures with special color versions, which they don't feel very special. The idea of a special edition, special color version is they give you special fan art, maybe a signature from the creator, a special background, effects, accessories. They should really pack it up for you to say, wow, you know, this is definitely worth the price because I'm getting so much accessories. The paint job is phenomenal. You're getting something that's exclusive that simply cannot be found on a standard version, and it just doesn't feel like that. It feels like special color versions are becoming very bland, boring. They don't feel anything special anymore. I think this community has come to realize that 3D printers and artists are just doing more for this community than official companies, and I think Hiya Toys has that in mind, and that's why they're going a little bit beyond what MonsterArts can do right now. That's how I see it, you know. And I don't know, guys, let me know what you think in the comments down below. That's just what I think personally. I'm not here to offend anybody, but you know, I'm just giving you my personal thoughts. I'm here to keep it 100 with you, no bullshit. You know how I am, and that's how I see it. I do see maybe in the future Hiya Toys increasing their prices, which they have already done. Their figures used to be $48. From $48, they are now $51. So of course, look, inflation and all that is gonna make figures more expensive. Keep that in mind. That's why MonsterArts has been becoming more expensive. It's not only MonsterArts. We're talking about everything around the world has becoming more expensive. And if Hiya Toys is to compete with MonsterArts in a higher level, let's say they were to make a premium line. This premium line was to offer more articulation, more accessories, more details, bigger sizes, then yeah, it makes sense why it would be more expensive. Then I would see them actually giving MonsterArts a run for their money when it comes to articulation. Right now, Hiya Toys, what they have is accuracy and fan base dedication. They do good jobs with their effects and all of that, right? But MonsterArts always has that beautiful, smooth articulation, unbeatable hand details, you know, from their famous sculptor Yuji Sakai and others. That's what I think.